Hey dude, what's up? Evan here with the cool COVID hair. Uh, Talking to you today about 6 techniques you can use to make awesome leads in Reason that doesn't depend on the style of music. These are techniques you can apply to any lead to make it sound instantly better. So if you feel that your lead is either too harsh or maybe not full enough, maybe doesn't have enough body, maybe just feels like, have you ever had a lead where it just kind of feels like disembodied and floating on top of the track? Well, these are techniques that are going to help you really take your lead to the next level and help it sit in the mix, sound full, but also sound blended and like a part of the song. So without further ado, let's jump into the intro and then to the track. Before we go farther, though, I do want to ask if you've got any lead techniques that you use. What do you do to make your lead stand out? Just leave a comment below. I'd also invite you to check out a free Reason mixing template I have. It kicks butt, to put it mildly. It's going to help you mix your songs so much faster and so much better. There's a link down below. Download that so you can start making mixes faster and that sound better. And also, don't forget to leave your comment. So we'll take, this is sort of like a, I don't know, indie disco type song here. We'll take a quick listen to it, but I want again to emphasize that these techniques work on any type of genre. Like, I'm not going to teach you how to make a great lead because I think that's so genre dependent. A hip hop lead versus an EDM lead versus a house lead, whatever, is going to be different. What I want to show you is effects and processing you can put on the lead that you've designed to make it sound great. So first we're going to walk through the 6 effects. Well, first we'll listen to the track, then we'll walk through the 6 effects. This lead sound is from my Behringer Model D, which is actually a hardware synth. I've recorded it in, and so we'll take a quick listen, and then we'll dig into the techniques. And we'll solo the lead for a second. Well, it'll come to the busy part. And let's actually set the loop point just to be this busy part. And so I've got 2 effects ends here. And we'll go to the rack and turn off. So this is what it would sound like normally. And in the context of the mix, it seems a little lifeless. And a little just sort of like it's out there doing its own thing. But now it's got more body. And it's also, I think, feels like it sits in the mix better. And there's actually a 7th technique that I'm going to show you at the end that I'm going to add, which is going to take it to the next level using some cool sidechain technique. But let's break down these tips so far. First and foremost, we'll solo it, and I'll do the effects that are on it. We'll bypass them all. We still have the send effects here, but let's also bypass, well, one of them's on. We'll bypass them. Actually, we'll turn them off. So first, I think that an Audiomatic is one of the easiest ways to make things sound better. Tape setting usually works. Not on all your tracks, but on like leads, it just tames it a little bit. Fuller, a little more saturation. I've also done some EQ, just cut off some of the low end, some of the harshest frequencies, and boosted the high end. But I think that's what's got a lot of body, or I mean a lot of sizzle, which works for this lead. Then just a gentle amount of compression so that it sits more consistently. Doing about 4 dB, 50-second medium attack pretty fast release. Actually turning down the gain a little bit because the Audiomatic is adding some gain in. And then a chorus, just make it sound bigger and wider. You hear how much more that is adding. Basically what a chorus does, it creates kind of a copy of it, but slightly offsets the time and pitch, or maybe just the time. You can also increase the width depending on the mix. So now let's bypass these. It just feels more sterile and artificial. So these are 3 things I would recommend trying on almost every mix for your leads, as well as this EQ move of, we can just turn this. Basically boost the most important frequency of your leads and cut out the worst stuff. Now let's go to the send effect. And I think I turned, oh, they're still on. So first we've just got a simple delay here. And what I want to do is just boost it for you guys so you can hear it. That sounds pretty terrible, right? But let's bring it to a reasonable level. Oops. And now I want to talk about dialing in the settings here. This just makes it breathe a little bit more. So the first thing that I want to do, because I'm using it as a sound effect, we'll set it to all the way wet. This ducking knob is critical to use on a reverb or a delay on a lead. Because what it does is basically, it's like an internal sidechain compressor basically. So when the synth is at its loudest, it doesn't go through the delay, and so it doesn't trigger, so it doesn't get all crowded on top of itself. Only when the delay, or only when the main signal is quiet, does the delay start to appear. It ducks out of the way when the signal of the lead is loudest, allowing it to sound less crowded and less busy. So let's listen with 0 and then all the way. Hear how busy that is? And now we're just kind of hearing the tail. And for this track, I think something sort of... And then I think the main thing to just do is set the time. Quarter sounds good to me. But it doesn't work for this part. So you could automate that, or you could find a time that works for the whole song. On shorter times, it almost becomes a chorusing effect. And I feel like 1/8 works well throughout the whole track if you're not going to automate it. You could also, if you wanted more interest, hit ping pong, which makes it go left to right. Let's hear this in the context of the mix. And now turn it off. You hear how much more alive that is? But I think the ping pong is too much. And feedback will control how much of the echo you hear. But it just creates more groove and a little more backbeat on this track. Now the next technique I want to show you is one where we are going to take a copy of this by sending it to the effects send. And then what we're going to do, and I actually have this in the wrong order here, hit tab, and I'm going to send it to a pitch shifter. We're going to pitch, which is the Neptune here. We're going to pitch shift it up an octave, send it then to a reverb, and then send the reverb back to the mixer. And what this is going to do is create like a fuller tone, but because it's all going and getting soaked up in this delay, this reverb, you're going to kind of just want to mix it in a subtle amount, but it'll help it fill up the space a little bit more. So I've got it maxed out right now so we can really hear it. We'll turn this echo down now to a more usable level. And we'll turn the echo off. And we can actually, because I'm using pre, we can even. So this is the sound of the double. So you see, this is the sound of the original, adding in the double. At a respectable volume. It just fills it out more. And when you have both of them going at respectable levels, it's just a livelier lead. And now for the ultimate trick to get your lead to groove just a little bit more, we're going to use some sidechain compression here. And I've done a lot of tutorials on sidechain compression. Just look up stock music musician sidechain compression and something is bound to pop up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a sidechain compressor, or just a regular old compressor here on the on the lead, and it's going to, of course, go back here. So now we've just got a compressor, but I want it to be triggered by the kick drum. This is going to add a little groove. So I think this should take it separately out of the drum sequencer without ruining it, but it might ruin the drum. So we'll have to... All right, so yeah, I stole the drums, which is not what I meant to do. So we'll just have to create a spider splitter, spider audio merger and splitter, and we'll create a mix channel. Actually, we don't even need the spider with the mix channel. So now the kick drum is going to be going into here. So we preserved it, and we'll use the parallel out here to go into the sidechain compressor. So now we've still got the drums, although we might have to adjust the volume. We'll bypass the compressor for a second to make sure the kick's where it should be. Works enough for now. All right, now let's turn on the sidechain compressor. And now it's just going to bounce a little bit more to the groove of the entire song. We can do it in extreme setting so you can really hear what's going on. But something, you just want it to be a subtle little extra layer of baked in groove. This is probably even too. Now let's hear it without that. And with. It just makes it all come together. So let's listen one more time with the effects bypassed and then with them on. And you can really hear the difference, I hope. First bringing in the reverb and the delays. Now the effect. I really hope you found this helpful. Let me know any other tips you have for making delays or leads sounding good and really both alive and sitting with the rest of your mix. I'm always open to learning new techniques. You guys have so many great ideas. Please share them. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to download that cheat sheet to like and to subscribe.